right, to the BDGE Dynasty Fantasy Football channel. Thank you guys for joining us today for a little trade review show. We make sure that we do at least one of these every time the fellers link up. We've got one other exciting announcement, and that would be that we will be streaming live from this studio,
the couch
right here, us three, as well as some probably special guests along the way for the NFL draft, the round one, night one, round one. Y'all should come hang out with us. You must be subscribed, obviously. You've got to hit the notification button down there so it lets you know when we go live. But we'll be covering the whole thing. Pick one all the way to pick 32, covering it from a Dynasty perspective, talking about rookies. I'm sure we'll do a bunch of giveaways throughout. We'll have plenty of very, very fun things planned for y'all to hang out with us throughout the NFL draft.
In particular, when Xavier Worthy gets drafted.
It'll probably get off the rails.
We're not covering round two.
I know. That's why we're talking about Edna Mitchell?
Yeah.
Edna?
Enough.
It'll get off the rails, I'm sure.
I mean,
With how angry you get.
Depending on what Minnesota does, it could get off the rails.
It's going to get, I mean, you'll have the rest of the night. They'll trade up to 4, take Bo Nix, and then you'll have the rest of the night to cool down.
Crazy.
All right, let's jump into the first trade. We have Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert for the 209 and the 102. 12-teamer, Superflex, tight end premium, tiered PPR. So for those of y'all that are new to Dynasty, Superflex, 2 quarterbacks, tight end premium means they get an extra 0.5 onto whatever they get. Tiered PPR is half for a running back, full for a wide receiver, and 1.5 for a tight end. Do you think, not that it really matters for this trade, do you think when people say tight end premium, tiered PPR, it means 0.5 for running backs, 1 for wide receivers, and 2 for tight ends? Or do they just not need to throw tight end premium in there?
I don't think they need to throw a tight end premium. I feel like I view it the way that you just said it, 1.5, 1, and half a point.
Didn't matter anyways.
I think that typically, you don't need to throw it in there. I've seen some people call it tier PPR, though.
If it's 2-point tight end premium, you just say that. Just say that, bro. Say it with your chest.
I like Honestly. That. I like that. We ain't scared of confrontation here. Just say it.
Crazy.
Oh, wow. I'm going to let Andrew just yap. Let him go. I just think that this trade, though, Andrew, you were talking about how, we're not as keen on Herbert right now. Startups right now have the 102 going behind Herbert.
Yep.
And the 209 going country miles behind Keenan Allen.
Yep.
Talks about like the difference sometime in startup drafts and
where's Keenan Allen going in startup drafts ish?
I want to say in like the 10th, but it could be falling since he's gone.
Let's find out.
The 209 is miles behind the 10th.
I think the 209. I think so. Yeah.
Let's find out. I got it for you right here. Keenan Allen is going in the 1002. Good job, Adam.
It's like 1002. You could just believe you when you say
it. The rookie that is being drafted right in line with Keenan Allen?
1002 is it's probably closer to 209 than I thought.
Ladd McConkey.
Ladd
McConkey.
Which is going.
That's way before the 209.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's almost like we just fact checked me to make sure it's out there. But
crazy.
I mean, it kind of feels like the only way that this trade makes sense whatsoever for the pick side is if you're just in a full rebuild mode. Because like Keenan Allen can have a market value, but you can have a team in which Keenan Allen literally has no value to you. And that would be a complete rebuilding team.
Correct. It feels a little bit like you're underselling on the bad news of Justin Herbert right now and Keenan Allen's situation right now. It feels like you just took what you could get, whereas I feel like with both of these assets almost, which this is kind of how I approach my off seasons, is if we wait 25 days and Justin Herbert gets Marvin Harrison Jr. or Justin Herbert gets Malik Neighbors, can you get more than this? When it's your rookie draft and you're on the clock and 102 sitting there, you probably get more than that. It's just, I don't feel like there's a need to sell for this price today.
The thing that I feel like is happening more, not just the Herbert panic, but I feel like if you're in a rebuild, if that was the case here, like sometimes you just don't sell right now. Like Keenan Allen for the 209, I'm not taking that unless he's hurt.
Unless he's hurt. I also think it would probably be worth the gamble for both of these players in particular. Like you said with Herbert, probably gets his 1 after the draft. I think there's been a lot of mocks that have a receiver going to Chicago at 9. I don't know. Something in me tells me that that's not actually going to happen.
I could see that too.
So I would roll the dice that no one gets added to the Chicago wide receiver group over there, and I think that's another positive for the players that are that you were dealt there. So I agree. I think this was underselling on both players.
You also you don't. If you want to sell Allen and you can't right now, you don't have Herbert doesn't have to go into this deal. Frankly,
no.
You know what I mean? Like
this feels like you just forced Herbert into.
I feel like sometimes, you ever felt I can feel when some people are like they really want to, they're panic selling. Like I need to move Keenan Allen right now.
When you talk about right now is a good time for for you to go buy Herbert low. Like you were the guy that just got bought low on Herbert.
Yeah.
It's impatience in general in the offseason. And honestly, there's the phrase of buy and sell the news in Dynasty Fantasy Football. This is selling the news. And honestly, in a bad way. I guess for Caleb, he's buying the bad news and assuming that it's getting better, which I think it probably will. So for me, it doesn't make a ton of sense. I guess the only way is if you're in a full rebuild, but even then, it feels like there's still a lot of juice left in this that you could have got.
I get panic selling in a full rebuild Keenan Allen, even though it's not currently the right time to do it. You don't have to panic sell Justin Herbert right now. You know what I mean?
When would you say is the perfect time to sell Keenan?
When the season starts, when the season starts, especially let's say Keenan Allen.
No one wants to wait for that shit though.
But why? My question is why though? Because we don't have to set lineups tomorrow, right? Like we don't have to set lineups for 6 more months. I'll give you
an answer why. Like remember when J.K. Dobbins and Cam Akers got hurt before the season started? Like that happens to Keenan Allen. You probably don't even get the 209 anymore.
1 in a million chance that happens to Keenan Allen. You know how many players are there? I understand it. I understand it.
I wouldn't say that. We don't wish it. Knock on wood. We don't wish it. Injuries happen in the preseason all the time.
And it doesn't even need to be an ACL. Like he pulls a hamstring that he's out for 3 weeks or whatever. At this, you don't have that much time left on your career.
Right.
He pulls a hamstring in the preseason. You can get the 209 for him.
Maybe.
You can, or you can get a generic 25.
Or you get the 209 right now.
And get what?
Time is money, baby.
This is. I mean, if we want to put names to this, we just did a mock draft today. It's probably last week's episode or whenever it was. I don't know. We're in a time machine at this point. It's 102 is what? Marvin Harrison Jr. at this point, we assume? So it's Marvin Harrison and Ricky Pearsall for Keenan and Herbert?
Yeah, not great. Not great. When you look
what
at
are we
it
doing?
Yeah.
What if Ricky Pearsall is that? What if he's him?
He could be.
I'm just
no. If Keenan Allen gets hurt,
we already said it's not. We already said it's not a good trade. I'm just saying the reason for why is that Keenan Allen can't really afford bad news waves to come his way.
Let me ask this question because I feel like we should approach it from this angle: does that 209 need to be swapped for you to feel good about it?
Would you do it for 201?
To be good about the trade?
Yeah. Is it a 25?
I think
first?
if I'm giving up Herbert, I need multiple firsts.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. Like not even because I believe in him, not even because I think he'll get back there, but that's just the way that Dynasty trade markets work. If you're giving up a guy who is going in the first round of a startup draft and you're coming away with 1 first and a late second, you just didn't do your team any justice there. I need multiple firsts there.
Right. So let me ask you guys this. What's the difference right now for you guys in Justin Herbert and Caleb Williams in a rebuild?
In a rebuild?
Yeah, or just in general. What's the price difference between that? Do you think it's negligible? Or do you think it's...
I'll tell you where they're at right now, actually. I have Justin Herbert as QB 7. I have Caleb Williams as QB 9.
Yeah.
But there's a tier break. So Herbert's in a tier above,
and
then Caleb's in the tier below.
Okay. So, it's not a huge difference there, but you're saying you definitely have Herbert over over Caleb, right?
Over Caleb, yeah. But this, I assume, is not Caleb.
I agree. I'm trying to give some context here to why I might view it in a different lens if the plus was different. So, right now, in this time of year, what would you think the pick definitely is ahead of Keenan Allen? Where you're like, okay, I want that over Keenan Allen. Is it 201? Is it 111? Where is that for you guys?
I think we have to be in first-round pick territory for me.
Okay.
I think...
Is 201's first-round pick territory, no? Or are you meaning it actually has to say first?
I think 110 is where I'm I'll consider 110 over Keenan Allen at this point.
I would sell Keenan for a first easily. I think
even at 112.
I think I would probably pull that.
100%.
Yeah,
I think you could probably.
As a contender, would you do that? I feel like that doesn't make sense.
As a contender?
Yeah, I feel like if you're a team that you feel like you can make a run in the playoffs, why are you selling Keenan for 112?
Because 112 might move me for something better than Keenan on the contending side. 40 chest, my boy. That's
maybe
why.
not, but I don't know that
in your market.
I think you can contend, and I don't think you have to push all your chips in. That to me feels like a very. You're losing out on a ton of value on your team by not making that move now. And I'm not just going to be I'm pushing all my chips in so the extra 2 PPR fantasy points per game they're going to get out of Allen this year is worth missing out on an extra first.
That's the thing. It's could the 112, if you took it right now, could you end up getting moving that to someone else for better than now all of a sudden you have a player better than Keenan Allen on your team.
I definitely support the additional move that you're talking about.
Right.
But I feel like we just looked at the last 5 draft classes. When you sit there and you say, I'm drafting Sky Moore, I'm drafting Quentin Johnson, I'm drafting N'Keal Harry, like there's those guys as much as there are Justin Jeffersons.
Sure. But like
saying?
Keenan Allen's 30 whatever years old it is. I'd rather give myself a chance at refueling on Justin Jefferson, but sure, like Jalen Waddle was also there, and Devontae Smith was right around there, and like those guys also, like the T. Higgins again, the Michael Pittmans, like they all sit around that range as well.
Fair.
And that's where I think actually going through that is a good discussion, because if you right now really want to move Keenan Allen, you're having a hard time doing it. I was asking where you guys are at on that. If it's for you, the 111. So if you're saying, okay, I want to get the 111 for Keenan Allen, but I can't do that, I would move Herbert if I knew 102, if I knew the guy 101 that's saying is getting Marvin Harrison Jr. So if I know that 102 is Caleb Williams, like I'm really confident in that, I might actually take that little bit of a down tier if I know that Keenan Allen, I'm getting the 201, the 111, the 110 or something like that.
Yeah.
If the trade-off is me selling Keenan Allen and I'm going from Herbert to
just swapping.
Caleb, I'm okay there. But I think that's where execution is bad here. I feel like
The 209.
the 209 wasn't the piece that made that worth it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I could kind of see the logic for somebody. I think it was terrible execution.
It's almost like you take the 209 out and you say like 102 by itself, does that get it done? The person says no. And then you say, okay, so 209 was the needle mover for you.
Right.
And they answer yes to that. It's like, no.
Yeah.
No, I feel like they could not get anything for Keenan, and this was the way that they felt like they got it done, and it was just poor execution. And this is why sometimes you're better off holding than trading.
I just feel like if I look at it, like it doesn't matter even if we went straight across for both assets. Herbert or the 102, I prefer Herbert right now. Allen or the 209, I prefer Allen. It just feels like there's no leverage on Caleb's side of the deal on what he's receiving.
Yeah, there's 1,000%.
Yeah.
This one's like a panic. I'm rebuilding, get my vets out for whatever I can get kind of thing.
And there's bad vibes with my guy Justin Herbert.
100%. I think you could have shopped this around a little bit more.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, let's move over to trade number 2. We got Rob Noland, who gets DJ Moore, Kyler Murray, Deontay Johnson. We have a super flex
Spicy.
12-teamer. Sends Jamar Chase and Jaden Reed. I like this trade a lot.
Spicy.
Yeah,
Start 10.
start
This is a
10,
good one.
yeah.
Where are you guys at?
I mean, my mind goes that most valuable player in this deal is Jamar Chase.
Definitely.
And then I would say probably 2 of the next most valuable assets would be Kyler and DJ Moore. Can we agree there?
Yes.
And then Jaden Reed and Deontay Johnson are here. So honestly,
then
like
Jaden Reed would be in the following tier, and then Deontay would be the following after
tier.
that.
So in a super flex league, honestly, like the ability for you to get an elite, which I deem as an elite quarterback. I know we had a conversation about that, but I feel like Kyler Murray can be an elite quarterback for your teams. It's costing you Jamar Chase, an elite wide receiver asset, but
I have a question. I like where you're going down. I think I agree with you.
Okay.
But I worry that, like, DJ Moore, he was pretty much Terry McLaurin for 5 years. Goes to Chicago last year, breaks out. Now they add Keenan Allen. DJ Moore it feels like DJ Moore is now starting to be valued
kind of a sell high.
in a very much like higher tier than he has been throughout his career, where it's like we're almost looking at him as like a sure thing back end wide receiver 1, where if I had to put money on it, I think he's more likely to finish outside of wide receiver 1 than inside wide receiver 1 in this upcoming year.
Okay. Yep.
Different discussion to be had, but I've just like kind of felt that way recently. DJ Moore has like been pulling into a tier that I feel like might be out of his.
He is getting
range.
pushed up, and I think baked into that is the quarterback upgrade.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot baked into it is they aren't talking about the added target competition that's coming into town in Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been his bread and butter. He's been a target monster his whole career. So definitely interesting to say the least. But I do
At least
think
from a
that
dynasty perspective, because it's not like he's a super young player anymore either.
nobody's not old. He's like, what, 27?
27.
Yeah, the thing about DJ Moore is that for how many years now we're like, we love DJ Moore. He just needs a better situation. So it was kind of like for forever he was hanging on by talent. But now that we saw, I feel like the talent confirmed in points per game, everybody's just, oh yeah, he's definitely a top 12 receiver.
And I think we
I
could
think
still
Caleb's
argue it wasn't the best situation still.
Oh no, I agree. I'm just saying that DJ Moore, we're drafting him right now. We're currently drafting and trading for him. I think in Dynasty, like he is, to Nick's point, like a locked-in top 15 receiver. We've had that be the case how many years in his career? A couple?
Probably 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's definitely a rich bet. I like him, but we're getting to the ceiling for a guy that age. When you're that age, the thing about being at 26, 27, like when you're Jaden Reed, right? We can say, all right, Jaden Reed's only going to get better. When you are DJ Moore's age, if you don't produce like a top 12 receiver,
Like if he goes back to doing what he did,
you go down
80% of the time in his career.
significantly.
Yeah, if you give me a 27-year-old that gets 1,000 yards, I'm like, that's not.
Can I tell you who he would end up being?
Who?
Guy in this trade, Deontay Johnson, top 8 receiver, all of a sudden has a down year, and we're like, oh, what the hell?
That's fair.
I mean, he had a really big fall, but you see a guy that
Also
gets,
a guy
older,
who was in a horrible situation.
Sure.
Yeah.
But if there's other targets there, like if they draft Rome and they have, like we saw in a mock earlier, and they have Keenan Allen now.
Let me ask you, DJ Moore. We're taking Michael Pittman over DJ Moore, correct?
I would, yes.
DJ Moore, Devonta Smith.
I think I lean DJ Moore.
I lean Devonta Smith.
I think I lean Devonta Smith as well. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, Devonta Smith is on the younger side of 25. DJ Moore is about to turn 27.
The biggest thing there is like DJ Moore, his upside is the wide receiver one. If Caleb is him, like you could see him probably going higher. Devonta Smith is right now at least penciled behind AJ
DJ
Brown.
Moore or T. Higgins?
DJ Moore.
You say Higgins?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore or Rashee Rice?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Metcalf?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now, I just was pulling up my wide receiver rankings because I wanted to see where I have DJ right now. I have DJ Moore in a tier currently with Brandon Ayuk, Michael Pittman, Devontae Smith, T. Higgins, Nico Collins. That's the tier that I have DJ Moore in.
Yeah. No, I know. That's like where he is. And I'm like,
yeah.
Where I'm at is like I'm not comfortable putting more in the tier with like Brandon Ayuk. I just don't think he's as good.
That's fair, but that's the bet that people are making.
I have him as my wide receiver 17 in Dynasty right now.
So this trade, I was going through the lab just to see. When I look at this trade, the first thing I think, can I really afford? I would love to have Jamar Chase. Can I really afford to like let go of Kyler Murray? I'm basically saying, if I can, this is when I would make a trade like this for Chase. But I have to feel like Kyler Murray. Moving on from him, I still have a stable quarterback too. What if I told you that after this trade, you have Bryce Young and no other quarterback on your team?
Yeah.
That's scary.
And you don't have your 24 first.
So you're rocking with Bryce only in a super flex for this year?
Yep.
That's this team?
Yeah. The team. So the guy that's Rob Nolan is getting Kyler, right? But R. Richardson is getting this Chase side. So he has Chase. He's got Nico. He's got Zay Flowers. He's got Jaden Reed now, Deebo Samuel. But Zach Wilson and Bryce Young, quarterbacks.
Jesus Christ.
Honestly, that's an insane mix of wide receivers too, because I don't feel like there's a clear direction in that wide receiver room as to like I'm going young.
Yeah.
It's also like Deebo Samuel mixed in there and things like that. It's like what are we doing here?
I wonder if there's a world where so if Jaden Reed is swapped for an uncertain dynasty quarterback, whoever Jaden Reed's going what in
early seventh, 702.
What quarterbacks are available there?
I think in the 7th round is
Not great.
a little bit lower. I think in the 8th round is like Will Levis.
Okay.
Yeah, you're getting to right. Levis, Watson goes in the 6th.
Okay. So if you were to swap Jaden Reed with Will Levis or Jaden Reed with Deshaun Watson, do you feel differently about this trade?
Yes. If that was Deshaun Watson, 100%.
Yeah. That I think is maybe the point here is
Yes.
if you're giving away a quarterback, it's almost like down tiering with like more tentacles to
Here's
the trade going on.
the 4 quarterbacks going in the same round as Jaden Reed.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields, Will Levis.
Fields is soon to be out of there too.
Yeah,
His ADP
Fields is a no for me. But I think if you were to have given me
Baker?
If you had to have given me any of those other quarterbacks instead of Jaden Reed, and maybe this is just a Jaden Reed problem, that makes this trade way more enticing to me. It's just like a quick downgrade from Kyler Murray, a significant downgrade, but then also the upgrade from Moore to Chase makes it worth it for me.
I agree. It feels, knowing the context that you pulled up with the Bryce Young situation, this feels way risky, way riskier than I would be willing to do with my quarterback position.
And it goes back to like the difference between startup value and trade value. Like there are 2 different markets in Dynasty.
Yes.
Honestly, my favorite thing to do is when I'm like trying to look at trades, especially in the off season, is I like to reference startup ADP while trading, because I want to know, like, if we were starting a league today, where is this guy being valued? And then you can also kind of, create a trade off of your league's trade market, where a startup ADP is pretty savvy. If we're not kind of at least following that as a guideline, you could get shafted in a trade pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The difference is, right, like once teams are established, there's other factors at play. And with quarterback, it's scarcity in Superflex, right?
Yeah,
can you get 2? When you're drafting in the 2nd round, you don't have to have your second quarterback right now. You know what I mean?
I think the biggest difference, too, is there's no parameters in trade, whereas in a draft, you have to take someone. So, like, a market has to be made out of something, whereas a trade, it's like, the market, like, okay, you're in a draft and you're at the 506, there are a finite number of players you can actually draft. Whereas in a trade, you might get an offer, and then you might get an offer that's 2 times as good, and then an offer that's 2 times as good as that one. So there's no parameters. So the markets are completely different. It's like being in a market that has no closing time. You know what I mean?
It's the same thing too, where you get to throw a couple things in here and make 75 cents equal $1. Like that's, you get into that kind of mix with your trade market. It can get pretty ambiguous pretty quickly in a trade market.
And if you're trading away a quarterback in Superflex without getting one back,
you better be deep.
That's one of the times where I don't have to move. I don't have to move a quarterback.
Right.
I don't have to do it. So if you want me to do that, you probably have to pay me for it.
No, that makes sense.
Agreed.
And all this talk about Dynasty Startup Drafts, we are organizing them for you in our Discord, all right? We've already got the bot set up in there. We've got people in there that want to join with you. So if you're new to Dynasty or you're just looking for another league to add on to, hit the link down below. It'll take you right to Discord. There will be rules and a welcome message and all that stuff sitting there, cheeked up for you, okay? I'll move over to Blake. Always cheeked up. He receives Mike Evans, 25 first, and the 24 106. Gives up CeeDee Lamb and the 212. This is interesting.
I pulled this one.
So you're giving up CeeDee Lamb, but you are getting 2 firsts and Mike Evans.
My mind screams, no. Give me CeeDee Lamb.
But my body.
That's where my mind is screaming right now. But you look at, like, when I start putting numbers to it, I'm like,
Wait. You start putting numbers to it.
Sorry, I'm off of C4 right now. When I start putting names
all right,
to
there we
it,
go.
I'm like, okay, if it's Romo Dunze plus Mike Evans plus a first in 2025, could that equal CeeDee Lamb? Maybe. The 212 feels pretty irrelevant in this deal to me, but
for sure.
I don't know, man. I feel like for me, I mean, where are you guys at? I feel like I just prefer to have CeeDee, the proven asset.
Everybody wants to have CeeDee Lamb, but to your point, when you start putting names to it, I could make the case, but man, 106 is a pick where if that's Rome or a receiver that we think is really, really talented, plus you're giving up a 25 first, plus you're giving up Evans, this probably becomes, I'm not saying you can't make it, but this becomes like you better have a team that can afford to lose those type of assets.
Yeah. I don't hate either side. I don't think of this trade. I'm thinking pretty hard about taking that deal if I'm the left side because getting rid of CD hurts, but being able to, and like you're getting rid of CD and saying like, oh, I got a 25 first. I still have to wait a year in order to use that. Evans kind of fills a lot of that void because Evans is going to give you top 15 fantasy numbers to kind of plug what you would have gotten CeeDee Lamb, at least fractionally. So it's not like you're only getting picks back. You can still compete with what you just gave up despite getting rid of CeeDee Lamb because you're getting Evans in the back end, and now you have a lot of firepower for the future. And dude, the other thing with Evans, like, who knows how long he plays for? I think the deal he signed is 3 years?
Yeah.
So maybe he's got 2 years. 2 good years.
This is a start 11 league. If that doesn't mean much to you right now, if you play in a start 9, you have typically 2 receivers and 2 flexes.
Yep.
You play in start 11, you're like 3 receivers and 3 flexes. There's a significant difference in your starting lineup in a start 11 league. And when you just think about that, I definitely lose CeeDee Lamb. But if 106 is a prospect, that receiver that you think really highly of, plus a 25 first to move around in season, and you get Evans, in this format, it'd be really hard for me to make this trade, honestly, for CeeDee Lamb.
I'm just curious because you can see his team on the lab, right?
Yes.
What is his quarterback situation? Blake's quarterback situation.
So Blake's team currently has Tua, Isaiah Pacheco, Joe Mixon, A.J. Brown, Debo, Mike Evans now, T.J. Hawkinson, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Jalen Warren, currently projected to be a starter, and then he's got Matthew Stafford and Derek Carr.
Matthew Stafford, Derek Carr, Tua. Those are the QBs?
Yes.
Superflex?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I feel like now we get a little bit more of a conversation where 106, is that your chance to take a shot on Jaden Daniels or Drake May?
That's the other question with 106. Let's say it's not Rome. Let's say it's
Daniels or May.
You may not even have to take McCarthy. You could get May.
Yeah.
Right.
And if it's depending on the situation, now you get Evans, May, 25 first. You get to fix that quarterback room where you get to play Tua and May, and you don't have to play Carr or Stafford.
Yep.
Yeah, he's getting older too. Like, I could see an argument there, especially because of the value of the QB.
It feels like you tiered down really well with CeeDee Lamb, where like you didn't put yourself into a hole.
Right.
Like you can compete with getting Mike Evans and also building for the future this year and next year.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a nice trade.
I feel like for me, and maybe this is me just being really picky, and that's fine, but I feel like when you're selling an asset like CeeDee Lamb, you deserve to be picky. about the compensation.
Sure.
Well, it's like just going back to the first trade with Herbert. We're like, when would you feel comfortable accepting that trade? It's like, if I'm getting Herbert, if I'm giving up Herbert, whatever, I need multiple firsts.
And I feel like we're like, if I'm selling CeeDee Lamb, I better be picking in the top 4 picks of this year's draft.
Okay.
All right, I'll tell you where I think there's a poison pill here too. And Blake is getting Jamarshall Chase's first. And right now, like, his team is Patrick Mahomes, Breece Hall, David Montgomery, CeeDee Lamb, Jaden Reed, currently at wide receiver 3 and starting 11. Khalil Shakir.
Well, that's about as late as it's going to get.
Flexes currently are like Cole Kmet. There's nothing on this bench. He still has the 105. But, like, if you just think about a team like that, like, especially if I can make you get CeeDee Lamb for those 3 assets, now all of a sudden I'm potentially betting against you just having 1 or 2 injuries, and that 25 first is a lottery ticket in season 2. And you don't have you have CeeDee Lamb and Patrick Mahomes, but nothing as far as a team goes.
It's a gamble, but I feel like, too, you also play the gamble of where you say, like, top of that team's pretty nasty, and this could also be a team that plays late into, the playoffs as well, if they're healthy.
Yeah, I mean, but, dude, we're not even talking about buys. And I'm giving you right now you're starting Cole Kmet as a flex. You're starting – after that, you're going to, like, Keaton Mitchell, Ezekiel Elliott, A.T. Perry. The flexes are horrible on this team.
Fair.
You got to start 11. Like, sometimes selling an asset like CeeDee Lamb really sucks, but there's certain circumstances where you're like,
makes sense.
I don't think I can hold him for this.
Fair.
And I think this is where in that market I'm probably taking the 3 for 1. If you're flush with assets though, I can make a case if you're going to just pay astronomically close to the price of what CD cost. I just think a lot of times most people aren't actually flush with assets to do this type of a trade. That's where I kind of stand on it.
I think I lean with the Evans and pick side.
Yep.
Slightly in there.
I'm with you. All right. What about Sugar?
Sugar. Also, in the Discord, if you guys have trades that you want us to review for the next time that we're on here, drop them in there.
Put them in there.
Any context with the league that you think we need, drop them in there. Hit us with a hashtag Heint. Sugar gets Sam LaPorta, Puka Nacua, and the 203. Gives up the GOAT, Dalvin Cook. The other GOAT, Brevin Jordan.
Crazy.
The other GOAT, a 2025 4th-round pick.
Crazy.
The 102 and the 109. This is just a 12-team superflex.
Yeah.
Straight up. All right. Let's do all of our brains a favor.
I immediately regret pulling this trade, but let's do our brains a favor.
So he gets rid of let's just get rid of Dalvin Cook, Brevin in the 4th. So we're looking at the 102 and the 109 for Sam LaPorta, Puka, and the 203.
Okay, so all right, so just straight up, 102, I'll take over Puka and Sam LaPorta every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Together?
No.
I was like, bro, that's crazy.
I was going how you like to do it. Best player in the deal is the 102.
Yeah.
How do I justify the rest? Like, straight up, just think about Sam. Let's just say that Puka Nacua, because of start of ADP, is the second person coming up. Let's say you even wanted to make the rich bet of Puka for the 102. But how can I justify going back from the 109 to the 203? So the 9th pick to the 15th pick in a 12-team league, and here you get Sam LaPorta to drop back those 6 spots. That's great. That's absolutely crazy. It's criminal.
It's awful.
And you throw in Dalvin Cook and Brevin Jordan in 4th. Brevin Jordan and Dalvin Cook could be on waivers in leagues.
Yeah. This is
criminal.
Not great from the 102 side, from Derek's side.
Okay, look, guys. This is my buddy, and I told you I wasn't gonna pull this because it was a bad deal to review, and not because Sugar's my buddy in this trade. He got away with robbery. He texted me about this trade a while back. Said this is the offer that he's sending. Said that's a good offer. Gets pulled off. I wasn't gonna review this. Shane, you can thank Adam. He reviewed this for you.
I got you, Shane.
This is an easy win for Derek's side.
This is crazy. We don't need to talk about this.
No, this is what's funny is I'm scrolling through trying to pick trades, and I didn't actually read the full context. I just saw Sam LaPorta, Puka, 102. All right, bet. Let's pull this.
There's a lot of firepower going
on. And I feel like
now.
Maybe that's what the hell happened to Derek. Like, he looked and he's like, there's a lot going on here. Dude. I'll just take this trade.
I'm not going to look at it. There's a lot of cool players except.
This is awful, bro.
Move on to the next trade. This shit is he wiped the floor with Derek.
That is not. Hey, let me tell you something, man. Andrew, I feel like this is how you started off. Remember your advice of, I've learned from my mistakes. Like, don't send offers like this.
Move on to the next one,
Derek is about to cancel Sugar. That's crazy.
Crazy.
Bro, I've made some deals where people in the comments are like, bro, how did you pull that off? That seems criminal. That is really, you got to have a real set of balls on you to pull that off. That's criminal.
What's worse is it was Addison instead of Puka first, and he swapped out Addison to give Puka.
Oh.
That's what the text says. He changed Addison to Puka. I said Puka, LaPorta, the 203 for the 102 and the 109. He said, yeah. I said, accept it.
I asked your friend the same question I asked you. Where do you find these people?
I don't know where he found that dude. I play in leagues.
Chip ass eating motherfuckers. Yo, what the fuck?
I play in leagues with Shane, so when you're talking about some of my trades, Shane might be one of my trade partners. Yeah. Sugar Shane.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
All right, Dan, let's get this last trade in. We got Maddie.
3-team just for Eric, man.
Maddie has made an appearance in every trade show that we've done.
I feel like Maddie's goated at this point.
Become
we have to, Maddie. So you better keep making trades because we have to put the trades in.
Hold on.
Did we already do this?
We did this one.
We did
this one.
Maddie, you really?
Because I remember the 103 for Brees. So what? He submitted this again?
Maddie.
Bro, get over yourself, Maddie.
After we had already reviewed it for him? Did he not watch that one?
I'm in shambles. My last two trades that I pulled are a horrible trade and one we already did. This is on me. That's actually crazy, bro.
I know that the audience said to cut it out, but due to Adam's mistakes today, you want to review one of my trades?
I got you on a trade.
No, I got you on a trade.
I got you on a trade.
Here you go.
No, I got you.
I got you on a trade.
No, you.
You ain't done nothing.
This is a trade that I made recently in a league.
No.
Yes.
Really? In a league?
Yes.
What league? Is it real?
Yeah, it's a real trade. Honestly, Adam, it was the team I was having you look at today.
All right, I got a trade.
You guys are insane. I was having you look at this team today. It's the one we were looking at in Gurus.
I remember it vividly.
Told me it's middle of the pack.
Right.
So I made this trade where I sent Patrick Mahomes and Joe Mixon. I sent my beloved Joe Mixon away. I got...
Dubs in the chat.
W's in a shot, boy. I got Kyler Murray, Kenneth Walker, Jordan Addison, and a 2025 second. It's a 10-team Superflex tight end premium PPR. The team really lacked youth, really lacked depth. So I got Walker and Addison, downgraded from Mahomes to Kyler. How we feeling?
Who'd you get again?
Crazy.
I was going to say,
Kyler, Jordan
brother, you got to
Addison.
put this on the screen for Nick. He can't.
No, I'm dumb.
W's in a shot, man.
I don't read good.
I feel like you made this before you asked my opinion of how to help your team. Go ahead, Nick. You tell me first. I'll go after.
I think I like the Mahomes side.
Crazy.
I think I like the Mahomes side, particularly because I don't lean super heavily that way, but Mahomes just feels like he is going to be the number one. He has been the number one dynasty asset. Feels like he will be, or at worst, the second or third best for the next fucking 17 years. Walker and Addison don't feel like they're moving the needle for me.
There you go.
Kyler, he's good, sure. Second, fine. I don't know. I want if I'm giving up Mahomes, I want to be blown the fuck away.
No, I hear you. I'm pulling up the stat for you. What I was going to pull up was, and maybe we can just turn it into a discussion, is my thought process here is what really is the points per game difference between Kyler Murray and Patrick Mahomes?
I don't think it's necessarily much. I think it's not.
2?
That question in itself feels like it's getting ahead of itself. Just
I feel like that's not the question to ask in this trade personally.
Well, one, because like Murray's coming off of the injury and he's dealt with a lot of injuries. 2, Mahomes is coming off of like the least successful statistical year. And I think we're saying like if everything hits best case scenario and Kyler can stay healthy and they build a successful team around him and Mahomes is still leaning on his defense to win him games, then maybe it's 2.
Fair.
That's kind of where
I would say.
What you also don't see, brother, is that
nice, well played.
when I pressed accept on this trade, I also pressed accept on a secondary trade at the exact same time that got me Jalen Hurts. So I replaced Mahomes with Jalen Hurts, and then Kyler Murray became my QB2.
So explain to me why. Explain to me.
What you don't see, brother, is I was always working behind the scenes.
You did this just to fucking put a second trade up on the board.
Explain to me, one, why when we give you a trade to put up here, that you don't just put the second one initially, or that you do this so that a second one of your trades can go up there.
You know why?
You see, brother.
Should we cut this?
He wants to put all of his trades in front of you.
Should we cut this from the episode, brother?
No.
You made 2 mistakes. Therefore, he gets 2 trades.
Well, the second one is going to be on my sugar stuff.
Okay.
You're going to see a sugar trade.
I'm not getting up to put it on.
You are going up there and putting it
I can tell you what it is.
Yeah,
no, he needs to see it.
It's the 109 and Bryce Young
For Jalen Hurts?
and a second-round pick for Jalen Hurts.
Jesus Christ.
You didn't see me working behind the scenes, brother.
Do your friends watch football?
No.
They like to watch me win my Dynasty Leagues, brother.
Enough.
I'm convinced that these may not be real people.
I play
That's why
against
they're always
myself in
10
every
leagues.
league.
It's easier
Bryce
to put
Young
9
and
other
the
people.
109 in a second for Hurts.
Okay.
Thanks, Panda.
But here, let's
Hurts.
even just, you know what? Let's even just do this for the sake of
This is off the rails.
sanity.
What are we doing?
No, for the sake of sanity, bring this in. let's look at
Bring this in.
look at the end result for you. Okay, so now you have Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts, right?
Yeah.
And what have you got else though?
You said that was the best part of my team.
I agree, but I didn't know that you had Patrick Mahomes to start.
Would you rather have Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield, or would you rather have Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray?
I'd rather have Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray.
I agree. Now, would you rather have Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield and then Joe Mixon as your flex, or would you rather have Kenneth Walker and Jordan Addison as a flex?
Well,
Listen, you win overall when you get to pull off that second bullshit trade.
Right, but
like that makes everything work.
Okay, but
I don't. For the record, I don't make this deal unless that first one's lined up.
Okay, that's fine. But
I line them both up at the same time to do this shit.
Well, then you can't ask us to grade this trade on its merits when we don't have the second part of it.
Sneaks in some bullshit.
You know what I did?
And like,
No.
Wait, what about both trades together though?
I pulled an Adam.
Why are you putting this on there?
I pulled an Adam because what I was doing was I was looking at Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, and I said, look at all these big names. Let's talk about them. That's what I did. I pulled an Adam.
No, it's fair. And I would lean with the Mahomes side here. You factor in if it becomes a 7-player for 5-piece trade now, then I look at that other one.
What is this, Adam? 40
chess. But now,
Yes, sir.
Now here's the question. Okay, the reason I want to talk about this
I
trade,
really like that.
Let's talk about one trade. We have an audience that's trying to understand trades, and we're literally giving them like 2 trades at once that they probably are trying to figure out the first one.
I apologize.
The reason in a vacuum before you make the trade 2 that I don't want to give Mahomes away in this scenario is not because the points per game difference, which I agree, Kyler Murray could be very close. What does Kenneth Walker and Jordan Addison really do for teams in a 10-team league is my question.
They give me more enticing assets to send off for other stuff.
If those are enticing in your market and you know you can move them, hence a second trade that you got, that's one thing.
I understand
I feel like
that
a lot of times in a format like this, Kenneth Walker and Jordan Addison don't necessarily give you high-end points per game production and aren't needle movers in trades.
Yeah, I understand that in this league, the market is young guys they're what everyone wants. So getting some young guys like Jordan Addison, Kenneth Walker, people are a little bit more excited about those assets. Allows me to flip them.
I mean, overall, the 2 trades combined, I want Kyler Murray, Kenneth Walker, Jordan Addison, second, Jalen Hurts. In process, and if I didn't know that trade was coming, I wouldn't get rid of Patrick Mahomes for this.
This was a bad example. I just pulled some shit to talk about it because we were
That's
lacking.
fine. But just don't get defensive and tell us that we're crazy because we didn't know the context of trade 2, you know?
I was just saying, brother, that I'm really like that.
Don't gaslight us, brother. Can we wrap this shit up?
Yeah.
Jesus
I was
Christ.
just going to say, I'm not even sure that any of that gets on for
We
Tony.
might have to cook this whole episode.
Tony,
I'm sorry.
you decide,
We got in
Tony.
here at 9 a.m. and it's damn near 10 p.m. We've been filming all day.
I wouldn't be shocked if now because of Andrew's mistakes that Nick and I have to film something completely on our own tomorrow.
Honestly,
I'm really like that.
I'm gonna drop a diss track on you. I think.
Honestly, I think it's needed at this point. And to be honest, I'm going to take that notebook home and start writing mine as well.
Would you
7-minute drill your ass? That sounds crazy. No,
if I
Diddy.
wrote a diss, you can't handle caffeine. You are
Crazy.
unhandleable in the caffeine department. If I wrote a diss track, would you write one back?
Bro, imagine
For sure.
You would.
Oh, you don't know about my ghostwriting skills for real.
Yeah.
Honestly,
ghostwriting skills.
if we're gonna
ghostwriting
be,
and delivering it, two
no,
different things.
look, if we're gonna be totally honest,
Wait.
There's-
He's got to make sure he's being honest first.
Dude, I
Yeah,
am starting
yeah,
to. There are trends that are concerning. Here. We looked at trends.
Concerning trends that I would not draft.
Remember we
you
looked
in
at
the first
2019
round.
and we went
Crazy.
trend. The trends with Andrew are scary.
I used to write raps in my notes section.
Dude,
of
that's
my
why you
phone.
put that in your name, Andrew Tutru. It's all a fucking lie.
Just being truthful, brother.
Just more projection.
But I used to write raps in my phone notes for real. I don't know if they were good.
I'm
I
not
rapped them to
surprised.
myself.
I'm actually not surprised by
They
that.
weren't.
I'm not surprised by that.
I don't know. I don't know.
I just know.
I know that if there was comments for those, they wouldn't be very good.
I don't
You
know.
have a lot of chips on
I don't know.
I think you should find him and rap for us next.
I used to
episode.
want to make music, to be honest. I asked Adam
could
first
see
time I
that.
met him how I wanted to get into a studio and make music
What do you mean you asked him?
No, you
with his boy.
we were texting that.
We were texting about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to go into do an album.
I'm about to be in
studio with
I'm about to
Fizzle?
be in album mode.
You don't want to see me in album mode. All you got to do is fucking put you in, lock you in a room with some C4s.
Jesus.
Is
Is this episode over?
This,
You'll-
no,
you'll have an
this
album in 10
absolutely
minutes.
could be like a Dynasty outtakes fucking episode.
Are
ridiculous.
we done here?
No,
Oh, why would we stop?
You want another trade?
I want more of your trades.
I got another
Andrew, I
trade.
just want to make sure that you understand what happened. I'm going to be honest with you on this, okay?
Be honest with me. That's all I want from you, brother.
You tried to read this trade, Nick, and you couldn't handle it. So what you did is you walked up and put the trade on there. It didn't put the second trade on there. That had all
Crazy.
the context to it.
Crazy.
That's absolutely maniacal.
Well,
All right. Well, go join the Discord.
I have no
Drop
idea
us your
what
trades.
makes what this makes
NFL
this
Draft Night, we will be streaming. All right. So subscribe. Look forward to it because I'm not.
I am.
sorry, boys. See you later.